And here you get into, well, I don't think the dates make any difference.
Okay, now these are apostle spoons.
Yeah. This one's 1792.
And did the whole Constable family collect these?
They did at the very beginning. It was quite a thing to have them originally, but then I think it kind of died out,
Let's see.
actually.
They were given as gifts, right?
Yeah. There's a little story on them. It was in a newspaper. That was
Williamstown Apostle
1967.
Spoons. Let me see if I can see what's on here.
And they were already alone. Apostle Spoons stirred imagination. The Clark Institute said cost around $30,000, and another inferior set is expected to fetch $15,000. Hartman Galleries, and then they go on to through here. Isn't that something? It says forks for the dandies in the 16th and 17th century England. Lucky lordlings dined with apostle spoons given to them as baptismal gifts. Forks were a dandy's innovation from Italy, and young men returning from the grand tour in Shakespeare's day with tinned implements in their pockets were thought effeminate by their deaf-fingered fathers. When spoons did become common tableware, they had elongated bowls, less suitable for chopping food than balanced in tiny reservoirs of soup. Still, as talismans of gentle birth, apostle spoons were an exquisite beginning to a serve feed of flatware, which in 1911 yielded services to 138 individual pieces per place setting, from teaspoons to asparagus tongs.
Well, that comes out.
Imagine paying $30,000 for a set of those spoons. Oof. Amazing. So I mean, it's anybody's ball game.
Okay, so this is St. Marcus, maybe. And this one says TJK 1794 on the back.
These are the dates on them. I don't know which one goes to which, but I think Now this letter was written by William Constable, 1793, to James Leray in Paris, and describes some of the property that we're talking about. And they talk about 4,000 pounds, and that is $1,000 off his bill for doing something up there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in 1793. And this one here is from William Constable de Leray. And that's another one in 1793.
Mm-hmm. And you said you have 3 notebooks full of this sort of thing?
Oh yeah, this is just one that I've been working on, trying to get it into some type of order. And this is, this is a long one here. This is William Constable to Leray de Chameau, 1800. Need for one equal and undivided Sixth part of Great Lot of the Macomb Purchase, of Great Lot 3 of the Macomb Purchase. Gee, getting complicated. Yeah, let's see if I can get another 2 or 3 of them in here that I can read. Some of them. Yeah, I can get this one here, I think. This one is a deed dated 1813 from Hezekiah Pierpont to William Constable for 16,000 acres in Montgomery County, now St. Lawrence County. Refers to the original purchase by Alexander Macomb. And that is...
And that's an original there.
Pardon me?
That's an original?
Oh yeah, these are all originals. That's no copy. And it was recorded in 1818 at 11 o'clock in the morning. Lieber number 5, page 189, and Myrtle Hitchcock, clerk. So that's gives you a pretty good idea of what it is.
They're in very good shape for being so old.
Well, they've had pretty good care. They haven't been hurt any. Yeah, let's see what else we got here.
Where were these all kept at the hall?
They were in the office. And a lot of them were just in cupboards because the safe wasn't big enough to hold all this. This is a copy here of the history of the county Schenectady from 1662 to 1886, but we don't need to get into that. Let's see what this one is. You gotta find out who it went to. This is an album from Marie de Chameau in Paris from William, and it's dated. Hasn't even got a date on it.
I don't see one.
No. There's no date on this one. This is in the bag. There was no date on it. Might be on the inside somewhere, but I don't care.
Yeah, you might be able to figure it out.
Let's see what this one is. This is an agreement between William Constable and Chassanis, who was a French, Peter Chassanis. He was a French agent for some of the French people from France that were interested in the land over here. It's pretty hard to read. If we got the time, we can get into it. Let's see what else we got here. Boy, this one's all in French.
You read French, right, John?
Yeah, I used to. We're not too much anymore. This one is written the 10th of May,
1797?
Yeah. It's all in French. However, this is the guy that witnessed it, and it was full war Skipwith. But this is all in French, so you got me licked.
And who's that from?
If you can read that, you're doing better than I am.
No. Starts with an L. How am I doing?
Oh, you can see this is Lambor, I think, L-A-M-B-O-R, but I can't make that out. It had something to do with the Company of New York, the Company of New York.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all in French, and I can't quite interpret it, can't read it. And this is, William Constable from Array, and it was written in Paris in 1797. Signed by Array, and it's addressed to William. And it's quotes some prices on acreage, but it's again in French, but signed by Larry Deschamaux. Now we're getting, this is 1817, we're getting up there. Let's see who this one was from. Oh, this one was from Larry Deschamaux. It was addressed to William Constable in Turin, 1817. They're talking about land around it, the Turin area in Brown's Tract. And about whether they could get a bridge across the Black River. I mean, they really brought a lot of things up. And they were looking for a settlement on the east side of the Black River. And that was 1817. And that was from Raysville. Let's see what this one is. We could go on forever here. That one there is getting licked. Let's see what this guy is. Yeah, that's 1812, that's a modern one. It was addressed to William, and it was mailed out of Albany on October 28th. It was written by
Say McCormick?
McConnell.
McConnell.
I think it's C-O-O-N-W-E-L-L.
Daniel?
Looks like Grant, but let me look and see if I see any more signatures on the darn thing.
Oh, here it is. Right at the bottom.
Let's see if I don't think this one opens up.
Oh, you can just flip it open.
Let's see what we got here.
Yeah.
Well, that was McCormick, Daniel McCormick. He was in the land business too. See, that's dated New York, 1813, addressed to William. Yeah, he was a purchaser in land up here with William. He got into the fray like everybody else. And let's see, we got this one, I think, from Raysville, didn't we?
Yes. And we got one from Raysville. 1817. So you've made some copies of these.
There's some that I don't have, that these are copies of the originals. Some of the originals I didn't have, and somebody made these up and gave them to me. That's another one from, I think this is, oh boy, that's an epistle. This is 1843. Christmas in the Old Mansion. That's a whole story. It says, I am the little Mary referred to
China doll.
and the China doll
It's still in
is
my
still my
possession.
And that was Mrs. Pierpont, I don't know which one, 1889. Is that 43 or 93?
40, I believe. 43. 1843.
Something about the picture. Let's see what this one is. Oh boy. Here we're talking land. That was written in London in 1793 and signed by William Constable. And sent to Larry Deschamaux. And he's talking about acreage here and the cost of different things. Now you can read that, you do better.
Maybe some other time.
Yeah, some of it's tough. If you got the time, you know, you can sit down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that one is. Let's see. This one is James Morrison. Never heard of him. Boy, he really wrote an epistle. You want to write
Yeah,
something up?
Did you tell her about the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick, how tickled they were about that letter?
Yeah, the one- Oh, did I tell you that? I don't think so. I told everybody else. I've been associated with the New York branch. See. I ran across the newspaper that when William was inaugurated into the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick in Philadelphia, and of course he started it there, and then he came to New York and he used to go there, but I thought he was really associated with New York. Well, the secretary down there that Jane got hold of, well, we had nothing to do with those Sons of the Friendly St. Patrick from Philadelphia. They're a different branch. We don't even talk to them. And Jane says, you're kidding me. She said, no, and hung up. So Jane called Philadelphia and got a hold of the ladies down there, and she said, well, we'd be glad to have anything that you can contribute to the history of this thing, because he was one of the original members. So she's been getting them on the ball, so I'm waiting to see what comes next.
So the New York branch broke off from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Well, then
And-
the end of it, she called back in about 10 minutes and she said, you know, William was president in New York when George Washington joined.
And yet they want nothing to do with us. That's what got Jane's. She said, oh, we broke off with them. We don't have anything to do with the Philadelphia group anymore. So she's
Well, it's
looking
funny, you
into
know, these little splinter groups,
their splinter groups, you know, and then
they are so jealous of their own territory. And of course, the one in New York sees newer than the one in Philadelphia. So,
Jane's got a copy of the newspaper in which it appoints William as one of the officers of the Philadelphia outfit.
Uh-huh.
But New York wasn't going to have anything to do with us, according to Jane. She said, I was flabbergasted because the girl was very abrupt about it and just said, well, we broke away from them and they just don't count anymore.
Uh-huh.
But people in Philadelphia were just the opposite. They wanted some pictures and brochures on the hall and all this business.
So is Jane sending a copy down?
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're going to make up a little thing. And then Tony Gilmore gave me a picture here, and I sent the one in the hall, sent the one in New York, but he gave me this to send down to him.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm going to send this to Philadelphia to hell in New York. Tony did that.
Uh-huh. Well, they'll appreciate it, I'm sure.
Yeah, because, you know, it backs up a lot of history, so to speak. But gosh, when you get, Jane said, I couldn't believe the attitude of the lady down there. She really just says, oh no, we just proved, and that was it. We broke them off, and the heck with them. Did you get pictures of some of those?
Yep. Yep, we did that last time, right
Yeah,
toward the
we
end.
Well, let's see what else we got here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see, we get this one. Well, if I can find it.
what are you looking for, dear?
Oh, just reading.
Oh, thought you said you'd find it.
No, yeah,
I
I
was
just,
wondering if you were looking for that, because Jane has that piece that,
no, she's got the one that appointed him.
yeah.
Mrs. Constable, I don't think I'm in your way, but if I am out there, would you just toot your horn and I'll move? Can you see where I am?
Well, I guess maybe, why don't you pull up out the back of the door here.
Is that okay?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
everybody pulls 60,000 acres. Oh, they got more rating on there than you can shake a stick at. Chesanis was their land agent. He paid 25,000 pounds for it. Yeah. How many acres did I say that was?
I've forgotten, I'm sorry.
It's 220,000 acres on this one here. To Peter Chesanis. And then this one is 630,000 acres. And, let me get the date on that for you. And that was 1792. Mr. Chesanis involved in that one. Trying to figure what this one is.
So were the constables acquiring this land at this time?
They
Or
were selling
selling it all off?
Oh, yeah, they were selling it and peddling it all over. You couldn't believe it. How they kept track of themselves, I don't know, because there was such a great span of time in between getting things from France over here and getting things back to them. And a lot of it was done through the French because they had been over here and more or less got mixed up into it. We were ready to show them all of them. So it was really a mess as far as I'm concerned. I had to spend a lot of time just trying to get myself straight as to who did what and when.
how long do you suppose the mail took in those days to get over to France?
Well, there's quite a time element in there because it was all done by sailing ship, and I imagine there were times that it might take 2 or 3 weeks to get there, depending on, when they took off, they didn't make one straight trip. They generally stopped along the way at different places and would deliver and pick up cargo because it was a long thing with just sail to go by. Of course, today we can look through it with airplanes and power equipment and listen to it. I was going to look and see what I got in this other one here. Anything that would be of interest to you. Sergeant Hall. That
Oh my goodness.
somebody would really have to sit down and really go over them sheet by sheet. Oh boy. That's in French. You got me.
Yeah,
licked.
that signature is hard to read even.
I can't even get a date on it, can you? So,
Right here, 1817.
1817.
Constable.
And it's sworn to by one so-and-so, Consul of the United States, certified the above signature.
Somebody Cox Barnett, Consul of the United States.
He approved it and guaranteed it, whatever it is. It's a hell of a lot of reading to do. Maybe you can read this down here and see what that says.
Okay. Here it is. It is with no small regret we have to mention that Mr. Henry McVicker of the city, on his passage to Liverpool in the ship Rosalie from this port, was washed overboard and lost in a severe gale about the 20th of December last. And the date on this is
15, I think, isn't there 16?
15, 16.
Yeah. Get washed overboard.
And he was a relative? The McVickers
the
married in.
McVickers. Oh, yeah, they were in on it too. Here's his commencement oration of August 2nd, 18... I think that's 27. I don't know what college it is. Let's see if we can find out. It's nice to have it. Oops.
John McVickers, oration for commencement.
Yeah. It was August 2nd,
07?
1807, yeah.
Maybe. Would this mean that he was valedictorian or
I
something?
would say that. Commencement oration, he'd have to be. Then this is one of
I
the...
don't see the name of a school. I can probably find that out.
And this is a lot of the...
Oh, it's a family tree?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, here's where the Moors came in. McVicker's commitment oration, August 2nd, 1807 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder what college that was. Doesn't say, does it?
No.
Let us take warning by the fates of other nations. Favored the rocks which they have split. Let us share that promptitude. I never heard of that. The liability of the liberality of conduct in unison of something which the safety of our nations demand. They shall, something shall we,
What is this name?
Henry McVicker.
Henry. Oh, so they're different ones. This is John McVickers.
Yeah, well, they were all married in together. Well, here you are here, William Karen Constable, and Anna, daughter of Townsend White. Anna Maria married H.B. Pierpont. Uretta married James McVicker. William married Elizabeth McVicker. They didn't want to get out of the family. And then John, in 1788, married Susan Livingston. His second wife was Faye Kane. And then Harriet, born in 1790-something, married James Duane. That would be Duanesburg down here. And Emily in 1795, Dr. Samuel Moore. That gets into the night before Christmas.
Oh, that's right.
Then Francis Sam in 1796 met Edward McVicker. And they really didn't look very far.
I guess not. There's 3 McVickers in one
Yeah.
family. So Dr. Samuel Moore was a relative.
Yeah, oh yeah. What's the story? Some during the Revolutionary War, he was thrown over a fence somewhere. I gotta find that. That's around somewhere.
Well, how about telling the Night Before Christmas story real quick?
Well, that was written by Clement Moore, who of course was a relative of the family, and he wrote it after visiting Constable Hall. He went home and wrote it. Everybody thinks that he wrote it at the Hall. He didn't.
But he
He
did.
got the inspiration. Then he went home and wrote it and sent it back to the Hall. And that's where it was for years. I don't know what finally became of it, but we do have the history because it's mentioned in quite a few articles that the family wrote that he was responsible for writing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a universal type thing now. There's no copyright on it. I guess everybody uses it because I don't think there's anybody that doesn't know or heard it, because it's always one of the big things at Christmas time they bring up. Now let's see what else we can dig up in here. But that gives you some idea where the McVickers came in.
Mm-hmm.
To do a study of this so a person could spend a lifetime on it. Now there's Jane Constable, and that was written in 1803.
And who is Anna?
Anna,
The letters to Anna. Is she a relative?
she was Anna Constable, yeah.
Oh, okay.
My sister was named Anna. We always called her Nancy. This was written from Bristol in 1803. Signed, Jane Constable. I'm highly gratified by the many proofs I received of your recollection of our four kind letters. You well know my dislike to writing, and as Trevor accustomed myself in early life to correspond. I hope you will excuse me in the future, but trust you'll combine your usual goonies, I guess that is, in writing me often. I suppose your time is much devoted to your father, who is well interested to every attention, and indeed is all good parent, and indeed has all good parents. I've always expressed it from all my children. Mr. and Mrs. Pinchard have been to visit us. She looks very well and appears quite happy. She gives me most pleasing accounts of your brother, who we expect to see next month. I request you will offer my thanks to Mr. Pierpont for the box he sent me, and all have joined in being kindly remembered to you and believe me to be your affectionate grandmother, Jane Constable. Well, Bristol, 1803. She's 70 years old when she wrote it. That isn't bad. They didn't die too young in those days, did they? Well, you could be here for 2 weeks.
I guess so. We just want to get an idea of what you have in here.
Well, this is just, as I say, this is just 1/3 of it, because I got 3 more of them full of this up. Let's see what this one is.
Were the 3 up at the hall, did they just happen to be the ones that you filled up first, or did they have
Well, they were
a certain kind of thing?
They were not in any order. There were just boxes of them. And what I tried to do was go through and get the immediate family ones into one, the ones of the land dealings, get them into some separate ones.
Are they open for viewing at the hall in the summertime?
Oh, yeah, you can go and see. Yeah, all you have to do is tell Tom Kelly I told you. But you got my permission.
Well, can anybody going in there, though?
No,
Are they?
no,
Okay.
they have to have permission first. We don't. Tom is very, very careful about that, because he said you don't know, people might pick pages out and so on and stuff. Let's see what this is. Here's a copy of the monument, St. Paul's Churchyard, made by Uncle Henry in 1879.
Where's that?
That's, I imagine, is right up here in Constableville. Would have to be. Well, no. South side, I don't know. This, ooh. Now, some of these must be in New York. East side, west side, north side. Let's see, here's a copy of the monument. Let me see what he says the monument is. If I see the monument, I'll know. See, there used to be a church in that old churchyard up there.
So those are all the constable stones up in this certain cemetery?
Oh, no, it's the Episcopal. As you go in on 26, as you go into Constableville off Potter's Corners, there's a place where the road kind of goes like this, and that's the churchyard right there.
Oh, I've seen that. It has a little shrine in front.
Lichgate. Yeah, Casimir brought that from England.
Did he?
Yeah, and it survived all these years and bad storms and everything else. This is at Schenectady. West side, James Constable and Jane. Well, let's see. I'd have to go check. I know there's some up there, but I don't know what there is. That doesn't look right to me. 1785. That would be in Schenectady, I think.
How long did they live in Schenectady?
That's a good question. I don't know. They were all over the damn state there for a while. And they got mixed into the canal business. Oh, this is a copy of the Gilbert Stewart, the Constable that he paid for, 1797. He paid for the original and a copy.
Of what?
George Washington and John Constable. Or William Constable, I should say. See, G.E. Stewart. Yeah.
A portrait, is that what it says?
Yeah, the late President of the United States. That's Washington's picture that William paid for. Then he had him do one of him, too. And this is signed by Stewart here. Received of from Esquire to the above sum in full, all and all, on hands again, so on. Above mentioned William Constable Esquire, Gilbert Stewart. That, I think, hangs in the Metropolitan. I know it does.
The John Constable or the Washington, or both?
Barry?
Or William Constable? The William Constable?
Be William. Yeah, that'd be William. Yeah, that'd be William.
Have you seen it?
Yes, years ago. Here's a little beauty here. William Constable to Ray de Chameau, 20th of March, 1800. Deed for one equal and undivided sixth part of the great lot number 2 of Macomb's purchase. 553,015 acres. Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, they traded this stuff like peanuts. They wrote a long letter with it here. And then this one is Turin's July 4th, 1826. Well, that was a family letter, yeah. Boy, I mean, the only communication they had was writing when you get right down to it.
They got good at it.
Well, they had to, Lord.
So the other 3 notebooks up at the hall are all in plastic. All the papers are in plastic
They're all
like this.
just like this, yeah.
And you're still working to get...
Oh, I'm still trying to get them in sequence. That's my biggest problem.
Is everything in plastic already? Or do you still have...
About 90% of it is.
And you have you have some big maps in rolls and things like that, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we've got a lot of big stuff. But all the small stuff I've tried to get in protected like this, and I've finally gotten a source where I can get these double ones that open up like a book. I had to go down to Allen's. They had to order them. They didn't stock them, but I took one down and showed them. Oh, she says, we don't sell very many of those. Well, I said, that doesn't make any difference. I want some of them. I don't know, there's only 35 cents a piece, but they're double. And you can take these letters, you can put them in this way, and if somebody wants to read them, they can without taking them out, which I feel is a way to preserve them. This is from Ray. I don't know who this is from even.
James LeRae. Is it to him or from him?
What?
Mr. LeRae.
I left this morning after breakfast and have already so and here already, so as you can see I get on. Well, that's good. That's William Constable, WC, that's what he used to sign.
And he has a seal on it.
Yeah. Just a seal. He didn't put a date on it, did he? No, he didn't put a date on it anywhere.
7 o'clock. Is that what it says, Monday?
Yeah. At Blah, Monday, 7 to 5. He had breakfast, though. He must have been over there somewhere. This is the type of thing I like to put in those double ones. Does you want to open it up to